there. You can write on them. But not on your hand, because that's not good for you. That's what they used to tell us.
I did,
I know, I had Mike
You did. I saw your thing from that day. I'm gonna put myself in the corner. Hope you're best.
You're saying money, or you're saying? Then what we bid, that's not right. I'm telling But it's an illusion. Angela, you first. Got this council meeting for Monday, November 16th, 2015. Call to order, roll call please.
Tanner.
Present.
Petch.
Yes, here.
Altus.
Yes.
Gonzalez.
Yep.
Wojni.
Yes.
Olmstead.
I would. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We got there for verification of the posting of the agenda, please.
The agenda was listed at City Hall Staples of Arcadia and Arcadia TV and Lions for Thursday and Friday, the 13th.
Their old business has none, so we're going to create a public comments at this time. Yes, ma'am.
Good evening. Last month, Beth Julian here. Last Monday, I received, or in the mailbox, there was this mailer, and it says to Dennis Hesh, current resident at 26509 Russ Lane, so I guess I'm speaking as the current resident. I do own property in the city of Arcadia, but I can't vote in the city because I actually live in the town. So I was kind of wondering what this was sent to me. And my first question is, on the flyer it says that we have great unemployment opportunities. And I don't need an answer tonight, but I was wondering if someone could tell me what those unemployment opportunities are. I actually came here to thank the mayor and council members. That's what was requested on the mailer. And the second question is, have all the improvements that were listed on here been cited on mailer been done since 2006? Were none of them prior to that date? And that, just for your information, I had gone that Monday night and checked out, or maybe it was even Tuesday, and checked out the website and found it to be a GoDadGo website. And I couldn't find anything about, the city of Arcadia. So, I don't know if this was a political mayor or who the better tomorrows begin today are, but I was confused as why the city hall number was listed. Thank you.
May I see that, please?
Sure.
Yeah, what was made was no the wage.
I got this, I'd like to answer your first question.
Thank you.
My best guess is that unemployment is the typo, and I would hope that everybody is understanding of the great number of employers and jobs in our community are referenced. Otherwise, then it would be a typo.
Okay, thank you.
I can assure you that this was not sent out on behalf of the city of Arcadia, so to answer your other questions, the city of Arcadia did not put this out. The city of Arcadia, as a municipal corporation, does not endorse this, and all of our information comes out either on our website or at meetings or other publications that the city authorizes it is for, and that's all the city has to say about this. It's a city issue.
Okay, thank you. But it does say about city hall and payment, so that's why I
Well, on
said.
behalf of them, thank you for taking us. Yes, ma'am.
Here, yes, it's not Arcadia. I saw that flyer also, and I went on, and I found her website, and I found that the chairman is Mike Chico, and treasurer is Ron Tertiary. Well, these are both known Arcadia residents, so I was kind of wondering, was there, you're saying there was no collaboration for this, for the city and?
Absolutely not.
Okay, that's my question.
But because they're town of Arcadia residents, it doesn't make whoever you had indicated, they're willing to get involved in different than your own.
Right.
Other public comments, please? Public comment? Yes.
Hi, John Schultz, Town of Arcadia, regarding the November 3rd meeting regarding landfill issues. Appreciate that meeting happened. I hope we addressed a lot of concerns. But at that meeting, we were a little bit, the town was a little bit surprised by mention of a November 16th deadline. It's not something we had heard of prior to that date, with regards to us making a decision. Wasn't really made clear on the decision we were supposed to make. November 16th is the day. We are meeting tomorrow. We have the November 3rd Green Alliance meeting on our agenda. We're going to discuss it and possibly have action. So I'm just asking, because I talked with Terry Adam after the meeting, and he said that literally he wasn't asked to do any research or we didn't have any information to share. So meeting on tomorrow, and I just asked anyone on the city council if you have any information that can add to what was discussed on November 3rd or any clarification. We'd love to have it.
What time?
Our meeting's at 7. And anything odd, you can email to my phone address. Again, I don't know what action we'll take, if any. We aren't even sure what action we were requested to take. We haven't heard from either the city or Green Alliance since November 3rd.
I'd like to respond to that directly. The city did not ask Terry to do any work on it because Green Alliance presented it to town, and it's a town effort, and no action required or requested from the city. And in my best understanding is that there was a December 19th deadline, and there was just a November, whatever date it was, if it's 6th, I'll go with your, because I don't recall, but that they just wanted to know if there was an intent to apply, but the actual application deadline was somewhere in the week before Christmas, 17th, 18th, 19th, something like that.
Yeah, well, yeah, I appreciate it.
I'm sorry, I don't have the exact date, I don't have it in front of me.
I guess to clarify my request, try to brief is that the revolving loan fund was mentioned as the grant application, which is the only grant opportunity available this year. The typical assessment grant has some regional qualifications that would exclude that site this year. So essentially, we're being asked to make a loan, revolving loan fund application. So we would be, the town would be administering the loan. And so that is all new to us, and we have to discuss whether we have the capacity to administer a loan program. So this, the information on these grants have been available for 4 months, so this is all quite sudden. So this is kind of thrown in our lap, and we don't have much work with. So we're gonna probably have to go with that. So any information anyone has in the next 24 hours would be great.
What about talking next week? Can you talk to, what's his name, Herzog? Herzog, he was the fellow who was the grant writer. What if we to try to contact him, maybe some help and what needs to be done? I mean,
I think collectively, because the request came from him, that I'd echo Dr. Fetter's comments and say to touch base with Mr. Zog.
Or vice versa, too. So we've been given very little, so anything you have would be good. Yes.
Thank you. Public comments? Public comments? Comments from the public? Seeing and hearing none, we're going to close the public comment period and move on to the recycling contract presentation. The agenda says estimated 7:15, and it looks like we're right on time. We're another 10 o'clock.
Okay. That's good. So I'll be in on. Okay, well, I come before you, I guess it's that time of year again, usually we kind of get into December, but like I told Angela, it kind of gets December, gets cluttered up for everybody, and I have enough meetings. But anyway, I just want to give you a little background on Arcadia Recycling and what's going on with us. Just a couple weeks, I'll break the 7-0 and on equipment. I won't be like, around that area. Anyway, we started in 1981, basically. What is now Ashley has transferred, moved from their own present location in 1983. In 1984, we approached the city about being more involved in the recycling. Since then, it's evolved over the years, and actually this month it will be 35 years since we started Arcadia Recycling. It wasn't even in the dictionary at the time. My dad told me it was nuts because people learned to do that. A lot of people still don't do it, but
Happy anniversary.
but no, it's when you drive through the countryside and you see landfills, and we have a primary tank in Arcadia. I mean, we have a landfill that's contaminated, and see of Arcadia is a small landfill. I mean, you must see some massive ones get closer to bigger. But anyway, in the last 5 years, it's kind of been public knowledge that I've been trying to sell the business or form a partnership with somebody. To no luck until this year, I decided last January that and I'm 70 years old, I don't need to be doing this anymore, it's hard work. So I started looking around to see if there's some company or somebody out there that was interested. Several private people approached me buying it, and they're all like, well, I wouldn't open Saturday, I won't be open this many hours, I won't do this, I won't do that. We've always prided ourselves on providing the city and the town of Arcadia, town of Lincoln here, with 18 hours of open time. Most communities this size probably don't even have these seconds. They're allowed to just have either a curb pickup or drop-off point. So I consider Arcadia to be pretty lucky. And like I say, when I started looking, I looked at several companies, I shouldn't say several, probably half a dozen of them that I thought maybe we could form some type of alliance with. And we did over the last 6 months. We've been talking to Hilltoppers out of Alaska. Hilltoppers started in the recycling business about 5 years after we did, and they were pretty staunch, of course, because they were in the garbage business, and they basically told their people that they picked the garbage from, it's like, hey, we're more than happy to do your garbage, but we don't want any recyclables. And they just all crashed and burned, lost a lot of customers of ours. But Hilltoppers has gotten to be known throughout the state as a very pro-recycling company. And that was my thing with starting to talk to them. At first, when I talked to them, they like, hey, you're a small community, what do we want to monkey around that for you? Basically, we come in and do a curb pickup and everything. But as the conversation continued, and last March and April, actually, I think it was more to the first part of April, and I recognized us as probably being one of the programs in the state of Wisconsin that takes the most number of items at one location, which I thought was pretty good enough. Didn't ask for any recognition because, like, you know what, less publicity and those sites even moved me a little better like it. But anyway, we did form an alliance with Hilltoppers out of Alaska. And part of that agreement, basically, is I'm coming before you to get the contract renewed. I am going to stay working for them. That ended up to be part of the agreement. That I would stay on as long as my services are needed for a smooth transition at this point. At this point, there are no current changes. The only change that we have talked about, and Hilltoppers does quite a few curbside pickup programs. Right now, all we know is split the town in half, first Friday of the month and third Friday of the month. One thing Hilltoppers is, we are looking at is that we do the curb pickup twice a month, the whole town, which would be a plus. And for us to do it, it was just not a feasible thing. They would end up going to basically what they call a dual stream system, which basically aluminum can and glass would go in one type of container and plastic and cardboard newspaper in another. Because they're set up in Alaska, and you would like to tour the facility, I'd more than happy to take you down there. They set there about probably almost 10 years ago, and they do quite a few systems, quite a few curb pickups that are dual stream. So it's not the point of sorting it at the curb anymore. They set it up, goes on a conveyor, it's sorted, and we sort all of our glass by color. They mix it all together. They send it to a company, and that company basically sorts it by laser to separate the colors. It's new technology. It's only been on a couple of years and developed in Germany, but that was what I was looking for when I decided to go with a company that I knew would be aggressive and that would uphold what I considered our standards have been over 35 years. Never in 35 years had a company call us and say, you know what, I can't use your load, whatever it be, cardboard, glass, aluminum, nothing. We have never had a load rejected or questioned in 35 years since. So I guess it's a pretty good record. But anyway, my reason for coming here is to get the 2016 recycling agreement renewed, and gave Angela a copy of, I guess she prints some for me here. Basically what it is a writer to contact, because I'm authorized to sign for them to renew the contract under Arcadia Recycling. Basically the change in the contract, or I should say in Arcadia Recycling, is that the Foreman LLC, which we should have long time ago.
And when they're done?
End of the year.
So this contract you're doing for,
That's because I'm saying, basically the way we set up is we're forming a partnership, more or less. Because I am going to stay working for them, because that's the way we agreed, and that's part of my stipulations, is that I'm authorized and I have signed a contract on their behalf. And
I like accessibility, that on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Saturday, you've got something, you can run it over there. I go over there on Saturday. There were 9 or 10 vehicles there. I had to wait to go out. Accessible for us. I fully rather comes in an emotion.
A question. You talk about aluminum, plastic, tin, and glass in one bin, or?
they do it what they call a dual stream now. We mix steel, aluminum, and glass. Because the steel can pull off by magnets, the aluminum is, they use 8 currents to pull it out, and the glass doesn't matter the color, they crush it all together.
any chance we could do like a lot of communities doing that, the bill with bills on, and you throw your recyclables in there, and the day it is, you roll out to the street,
That's what we're looking at. Those bids are $8 apiece.
And who pays them?
In most communities, the homeowner does.
As a rental type of thing, it's part of the service.
So you buy in most cases, you buy the bin, the homeowner has to buy that bin first time around, and if it's damaged or something due to the contractor's fault, they replace it. But if they roll out there in a day and it's 30 below zero, tip it over and it busts, that's my responsibility, just like everything else.
So we have to have two bins that we have.
That would probably be somewhere down the road in the future, would be something.
And we could still come and bring to the, up the hill.
And that's what's going on in Arcadia, we try to work, and we used to work with Ryan, and whatever, as far as the totals, try to, work the totals so that you basically can get all grant money you can, because, all the commercial accounts that come in with hardwood and the bars that recycle their glass, that's kind of what I call free material. The state doesn't really, they don't know what you have and what you don't. And the DNR is trying to put more and more squeeze on it to make sure that they're not paying up this money and the totals aren't being met. Arcadia's totals have never been fantastic. Because, I've watched guys like garbage truck, basically, when we used to do the herb pickup and garbage on Fridays, go along, there's a box of cardboard all stacked, they go for the recycling in the garbage truck. And I think they'll probably tell how many times we went over the last couple of years, going to the incinerator. The bars in town, they throw their their glass into the dumpster, well, glass has no burn value at the incinerator. The guy who used to be, and I don't know if any of you ever had blind kids, he used to manage the energy, the Excel energy, burned down in lacrosse. He actually works for hip-hoppers now. And part of his thing is the reason he quit the incinerator is because he could not get DNR's cooperation to say, hey, that garbage truck backs in here, 1/3 of that garbage truck is recyclables. It doesn't belong here. It belongs being recycled. So that's kind of his thing now is he's basically using his knowledge and everything to make sure that things kind of, let's turn this around and see by, 1989 recycling law says, hey, stuff not going. The land that will work in the incinerator, but it's still there.
So we get these bins, okay, so do we have a choice to get them or not? Or can we still bring items up to you in bags? Or I don't know what the.
I really don't see the contract, and I talked eventually, but the contract, really right now, we're asking for a 2-year contract. Because that is definitely one thing that we have sat down, actually, I just met with them again Friday. And they do right now, they control, and Fountain City, both of them, they're close by us, they do it one. Both of them, they basically use the same system we're using. People don't have 5 bags, they can put it out in a box or whatever. The problem they're having, get a day like today, and the newspaper that got put out of there, on the curb, wet, basically got it's fire hazard.
You talked about this being through Hilltoppers
Right.
in Alaska, so what is this for Brothers Recycling?
That's-
It's just a little bit LLC
That's
about
the
that?
LLC part of it.
But really, it's part of,
Hilltopper representing site.
okay.
It was actually formed by their dad and the 4 brothers that now, and that's why, like I said, when I started looking at who I wanted to basically step in and take over Arcadia Recycling,
Okay.
they were my first choice, but at first they weren't interested. They want to talk to me, and instead actually what, we're here.
Okay, so I see this contract here.
That would just be, so that when we signed the contract, because the contract with this is 2014 contract.
So what is the price?
Same as it was, there's no increases or anything, same as it has.
How
been
much?
for
$12,000.
It's like 18 months, isn't it?
8, 18, 18, that.
The way it was obstruction of passage, that was my opinion.
January.
Eighteen,
Right.
but-
And